The 5 Lessons That Changed Noah's Life. In a quiet valley surrounded by rolling green hills, there lived a boy named Noah. The valley was peaceful, almost hidden from the noise of the world. In the mornings, sunlight would gently pour over the hills, painting the grass in shades of gold. Birds sang freely, and the wind moved softly through the trees as if whispering secrets only nature could understand. Noah grew up in a small house at the edge of town. His life was simple and modest. Every morning he would wake up to the sound of birds outside his window. He would stretch, rub his sleepy eyes, and prepare for school. After classes, he played with his friends in open fields, climbed tall trees, and sometimes lay on his back in the grass, watching clouds drift across the sky. In the evenings, he loved sitting in the backyard, watching the sunset melt into the hills. Those moments felt safe, calm, certain. That was Noah's little world, peaceful and ordinary. But inside that peaceful world, Noah carried a quiet struggle. He struggled to learn. No matter how hard he tried, his lessons never seemed to make sense. Words blurred together on the page. Numbers refused to stay in his mind. Whenever he read something, it felt as if the information slipped away moments later. His classmates noticed. Some would whisper when he answered incorrectly. Others would laugh when he stumbled through reading aloud. At first, Noah tried to ignore them, but over time their laughter echoed in his mind long after school ended. Slowly, his confidence began to fade. He started to believe the worst thought a student can believe. Maybe I'm just not smart. One afternoon, after a particularly difficult day at school, Noah stayed behind while the other students rushed out laughing and shouting. The classroom grew quiet. The golden light of late afternoon streamed through the windows, dust particles floating in the air. At the front of the room sat Mr. Dalton, the old ethics teacher. Mr. Dalton was known for his calm presence. He spoke slowly, listened carefully, and always seemed unbothered by chaos. While other teachers focused only on textbooks, Mr. Dalton cared deeply about how his students thought and felt. Noah hesitated near the door. His heart pounded. Then, gathering courage, he walked toward the teacher's desk. "Sir," he said softly, "can I talk to you for a moment?" Mr. Dalton looked up and smiled kindly. "Of course, Noah. Sit down. What's troubling you?" Noah sat in the chair across from him. For a moment he stared at his hands. Then he took a deep breath. "I'm terrible at studying," he admitted. "I can't remember what I read. I lose focus so easily. I try so hard, but nothing works. Everyone else understands. I don't. I just feel hopeless." The word hung heavy in the air. Mr. Dalton folded his hands on the desk. "Noah," he said gently, "you are not alone. Many students feel exactly as you do. The problem is not that you cannot learn. The problem is that no one has taught you how to learn." Noah looked up, surprised. "If you are truly willing to change, there is always a way. Let me show you 5 simple lessons. They may seem small, but they can transform how you learn and how you think." Lesson 1. Let the mind settle. Mr. Dalton reached into his cabinet and pulled out a glass jar filled with cloudy water. He placed it on the desk. "What do you see?" he asked. "Just muddy water, sir," Noah replied. "Exactly," said Mr. Dalton. "Now watch." He left the jar untouched on the desk. They sat in silence. At first, nothing seemed to change, but slowly, almost invisibly, the dirt began to settle at the bottom. The water gradually became clearer.
After some time, the jar held nearly clear water. "Do you see?" the teacher asked. "Yes, the dirt settled." Mr. Dalton nodded. The mind is like this jar. When it is filled with noise, fear, self-doubt, comparison, worry, everything becomes cloudy. You try to study, but you cannot see clearly. Before you learn, you must let your mind settle. "How?" Noah asked. "By being still," Mr. Dalton replied. "Before studying, close your eyes. Take slow, deep breaths. Inhale gently, exhale slowly. Give your thoughts time to settle. Clarity does not come from force. It comes from calm." Noah listened carefully. For the first time, he wondered if his struggle was not about intelligence, but about noise. Lesson 2. Return to the present. Mr. Dalton then lit a small candle and placed it on the desk between them. "Watch the flame," he said. "Focus only on it." Noah stared at the flickering light. At first, his thoughts raced. He thought about tomorrow's math test. He thought about his classmates laughing. He thought about going home. But each time his mind drifted, Mr. Dalton gently said, "Come back to the flame." After a few minutes, something changed. The noise softened. The flame became steady in his vision. His breathing slowed. "That," Dalton said softly, "is focus." He leaned back in his chair. The past is gone, the future is not here yet. But most students try to study while thinking about both. They regret yesterday's mistakes or fear tomorrow's results. Learning only exists in the present moment. When your mind wanders, bring it back, kindly, without anger, again and again. Noah realized something important. His biggest distraction had always been his own thoughts. Lesson 3. Absorb, don't memorize. Next, Mr. Dalton brought a small piece of cloth and a smooth pebble. He placed both on the desk and poured a little water over them. The cloth absorbed the water instantly. The pebble remained dry on the surface. Some students, Dalton said, are like this pebble. They let information touch them, but nothing enters. They memorize words without understanding. The knowledge slides away. He picked up the cloth. But real learners are like this. They absorb meaning. They ask questions. They connect ideas to real life. They imagine. They explain concepts in their own words. Noah nodded slowly. "So instead of repeating the lesson again and again, I should try to understand it deeply?" "Exactly," Dalton smiled. "Ask yourself, why does this matter? How does this work? Can I explain it simply?" Understanding builds memory naturally. For the first time, studying sounded less like punishment and more like discovery. Lesson 4. Break it down. Mr. Dalton then placed a thick wooden branch on the desk. "Try breaking this," he said. Noah tried with both hands, but the branch would not budge. Mr. Dalton calmly snapped it into several smaller pieces and handed one to Noah. "Now try." This time it broke easily. "Big tasks feel impossible," Dalton explained, "because you see them as one giant weight. But every big lesson can be divided into smaller parts. Study one concept at a time. Take short breaks. Return again. Learning is not a sprint. It is a steady walk." Noah realized that he often looked at entire chapters and felt defeated before even starting. Maybe he had been trying to lift the whole branch at once. Lesson 5. Water the seed daily. For the final lesson, Mr. Dalton brought 2 small flower pots. "One I water every day," he said. "The other I ignore." After several days, one pot showed a small green sprout pushing through the soil. The other remained dry and lifeless. Learning is like this. If you give it attention every day, even 20 focused minutes, it grows. But if you stop completely, the seed dries out. Consistency beats intensity. Small daily effort is more powerful than rare bursts of motivation. Noah looked at the tiny sprout. It wasn't tall, it wasn't impressive, but it was alive and growing. The change. That evening, Noah went home and tried the first lesson. Before opening his books, he closed his eyes and breathed slowly. At first it felt strange, but he continued. Then he studied for just 20 minutes, fully focused, and stopped. The next day he repeated it. At first nothing seemed different, but weeks passed. Gradually he noticed that he remembered more. He understood better. His fear began to shrink. His focus strengthened like a muscle being trained. His grades slowly improved. But more importantly, something deeper changed.